UK Prime Minister Theresa May suffered a landslide defeat in Parliament on Tuesday night. It was the worst government defeat of its kind in 95 years. But the pound pared its losses after the vote. Much of the bad news already priced into the markets. Ben Habib is the CEO of property fund manager and investor First Property and joins us down the line from Krakow in Poland. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to start by asking you about the meaningful vote defeat, what that means for your business, and does it change anything given that it was largely signposted?
Well, it doesn't really change anything in the immediate term. All that happens is that we continue with uncertainty, not knowing where the United Kingdom is heading eventually with the European Union. It does mean, though, that what was a bad deal is now off the table. And one would have thought that if the Prime Minister is true to her word, that since Parliament has judged the deal that she put forward to be bad, we will now be leaving with no deal.
So what would that mean for your business then? A hard Brexit, a no deal, would that be a positive or a negative for you?
Well, we're completely sanguine about a no-deal exit. We don't actually think that it would be bad for the United Kingdom, but as far as First Property Group is concerned, it would mean absolutely nothing in terms of adversity for us. The market may wobble. Sterling is likely to fall in the short term, which will mean our Polish assets will go up in value and our income streams in Poland will become more valuable. But I suspect that the sterling weakness will be short-lived. Any weakness in the UK market, property market, would also be short-lived and will bounce right back within 3 to 6 months. We would seek, of course, as a business to take advantage of market weakness in that 6-month period. But I think in the medium to long term, a no-deal exit makes no difference to the United Kingdom or our business.
Okay, so you touched upon a few interesting points there. Firstly, the impact on the pound and also the property market, and I want to get onto those. But firstly, it seems as though there are so many potential avenues that we could go down from here. Second referendum, delayed Article 50, soft Brexit, hard Brexit, no Brexit at all. What's your desired outcome?
Well, my desired outcome is a resolution which ideally gets us out of the European Union and does it in a clean manner. I think the Prime Minister's deal would have been absolutely fine if the backstop hadn't existed. And any deal which doesn't subjugate us to the European Union in the long term would, as far as I'm concerned, be fine, including, as I mentioned, a no-deal outcome. But I suspect what's going to happen now is that Parliament is going to examine its navel for the next 2 or 3 weeks, realise that there's actually no consensus for any particular form of deal with the EU, or indeed any deal that the EU itself would accept. And because Parliament is inherently Remain in nature, I think we're going to have a second referendum. And I imagine that the motion on that, on the referendum ticket, will be between a no-deal Brexit, which is, a sort of ideologically clean Brexit, versus Remain.
So which side do you think will win that referendum? If we do end up having a second referendum, what do you think will come from it?
I don't know. It's 50-50. The first referendum was in effect 50-50, 52-48. But that's as good as 50-50. So I don't know what the results of that referendum will be. But I suspect that's where we're going to end up.
So clearly there's a lot of volatility ahead for the pound, and this is going to be important for you. You've got operations in Poland, Romania, but also in the UK. We saw the pound pare some of those losses after May's defeat. Do you think we could see further downside, and to what extent? You said earlier that you were expecting a bit of downside. What key levels should we be watching for?
Yeah, well, I was surprised by the pound's movement yesterday. It's very odd that a country's currency should strengthen on its government being, heavily defeated in Parliament. I've never experienced that in the United Kingdom, where you've had a political event that's, clearly bad for the government and sterling strengthened, which says a bit about what the markets thought of her deal. I would have thought sterling should be under pressure, but it's been incredibly robust. And I think the indication from that is that the market reckons we're going to remain in the EU in some shape or form, or we're going to have a soft Brexit. I suspect the market's overconfident. I don't think we're going to have a soft Brexit. I think we're going to have another referendum, and it'll be a binary choice between Remain and a no-deal Brexit. And pound will probably sit on the fence until the result of that is through. Though, as I mentioned, I would have expected the pound to be weak at the moment, to be under pressure at the moment.
So if we find ourselves in a second referendum situation and Leave wins, we see further weakness in the pound, that's going to be win-win for you, surely?
That is a win-win for the short term. I think we will have 3 to 6 months of a weak sterling, and during that period we'll lock into the favourable FX rates that will become available to us by selling forward euros, bolstering our profit line into 2020 and 2021. And we'll also take advantage of any market weakness in the United Kingdom we've got about 100 million left to invest in our offices fund, and we use that weak moment in the markets here, I think, to get the rest of that money invested.
So how's the market environment doing for you right now? Are you finding good opportunities?
Well, it's been remarkably buoyant again, the market in the United Kingdom. CBRE came out with some very interesting figures recently, which indicated that actually there was more buying of London property, commercial property, in 2018 than there had been in 2017. And the complexion of buyers was mostly UK institutions. So clearly all this uncertainty hasn't fed its way into the property markets yet. We are still finding deals, but it's few and far between. The effect of this uncertainty, as far as we have experienced it, so anecdotally, is that people are sitting on their hands and waiting for some kind of resolution. But judging by CBRE's figures, the market's reasonably buoyant, notwithstanding the uncertainty.
Now, obviously, interest rates very important in your business. What are you expecting from the Bank of England this year?
More of the same, which is an accommodating stance on interest rates. Mark Carney may talk about interest rates being, on the move upwards, but, I think that's more chat than reality, and interest rates are going to stay low. They have to stay low because we need support in the markets as we go through this transition, whatever this transition is. We need support in the markets, and I think that's not lost on Mark Carney.
Ben, thank you so much for your time. That was Ben Habib, CEO of First Property, joining us down the line from Krakow. I'm Victoria Scholar. Thank you for watching IGTV. And remember to find me on Twitter for more updates. I'm @VictoriaS_IG.